can't use the treaty because they're always got something that they that
So,
somebody else own,
so
like
let
the
me
money,
ask
they own
you.
money, so you can't
Let me
go in there
ask you.
money.
A lot of people try to. This is what they do. They say the vessel. It says a vessel, blah blah blah, and all of this and all of that, right?
Right?
Everybody know it ain't no money, right? And we ain't paying for nothing, right? So, what happens to the car? Did you really buy the car? Is it really a transfer of title? Because if it's really your car, how do the police get to take a car from you that's really yours? How do they get authority
They
over?
can't do it unless you violate, unless
I
you're
mean,
in
but
a
I'm saying
violation or something,
right.
right?
But let's say you driving under suspension, they can tow your car. Or let's say you don't have a driver's license, and the police officer want to be, you know, a prick today. They can tow your car.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
How
they
how
can, but you can argue lawful,
how
lawful.
somebody take something that truly belong to you? They can't.
They can't unless I
They
mean, like,
can't.
look,
Period.
you can take something from somebody if you force it. Like if I take a gun in your head and say, give me your jewels,"
Then
I
that's
mean, that's
that.
basically what the police is gonna do to you.
That's
Hey,
that. So you ain't got. This is why I try to tell Moors we have to be industrious. Where's our Moorish cars? Where's all of our stuff that Moors create? That we can say this Moor is part of this tribe, is registered to this organization, and we protect the rights of this Moor and his property as it relates to treaty.
so you saying until Moors become industrialists, they really can't use the treaty for the part
I'm
or
saying no, I'm not saying they can't use it, but you have to understand the dimensions and layers and dynamics of what's going on to determine your or craft your argument or present your claim. Let's say
right?
necessary the treaty have to be involved. But a lot of us are trying to make the treaty everything and misappropriate the treaty when it could be a simple matter of an unconscionable contract. It can
Right.
be other eight. It has to. You got eight different um um eight different bodies of contract law that needs to be elements that have to exist. And we got to understand the laws under America, under contract law, because they the ones pushing contracts down our throat. And if you don't understand contract law, you don't know if the contract can be enforced or not. So it can be a simple thing of just saying, now this don't apply. This is a misappropriation of law based upon this contract, and nobody ever asked. For example, they bring you in there in the courtroom about a driver's license contract. The judge don't have no first-hand knowledge, nor do the prosecutor. And let me tell you why. You supposed to be with the BMV or the original parties. How could a prosecutor talk about subject matter and he's not original party to the contract? For example, they don't know what you and the BMV signed. They don't know if you crossed out anything, wrote other things in, and the BMV agreed to it. They don't know.
Right. I mean, that's when you would present that because it's all under assumption,
But
presumption.
listen to what I'm saying. They have they have the proof. So nobody asked to inspect the evidence. Let me see the contract. And then from inspecting the contract, you can then diffuse the contract and determine if the contract is a binding contract, if it's a legal contract.
I got you. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, bro. I mean, I'm with you. You know, as you know, I'm with you. You know, so okay, so we got that. We understand that now. This, like I said, this treaty thing, right? Like I said, it's a sticky thing. So I'm just trying to get to the bottom of when is it? When do you use the treaty? I mean, what is the purpose?
You got to ask me when and how and where do you use the treaty, right? Because you got to be in a proper venue. There are certain particular. So a lot of people, they don't do this. They don't read the rules, right? they don't. They don't read the rules of criminal procedure, so they don't do certain things. So the court just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going because you didn't follow the rules. So by default, the rules are not applicable.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, when would it be applicable? Like when is it? What court? When are you supposed to use the treaty? How is the treaty to be used?
Okay, so we got to understand the treaty, right? And understand what this means. So we got to appropriate the treaty in accordance to your nationality as it relates to property rights. So the treaty has to be associated with your Moorish nationality and that Moorish property. If it's not your property or your tribal people associated to the treaty, to present the treaty to say, y'all recognize this? We present this. This don't got nothing. This is our property. Then that's when you use the treaty. But just trying to throw the treaty around just because you say you can and you're more, they look at you funny.
Right. I mean, I get that.
So it's just going to depends on the particulars of the case, the particulars of property that's associated with the case, and it's going to all of that is going to be. That's why the bill of particulars are so important because you got to identify the property. Okay, who property is it? Who got authority of the property? Who has the right of use of the property? And what can you do in the do's and don't of the property? So what do? They created legislation, right? And legislation is based upon property rights. I don't care. You talk about, they got a section for automotives.
Right.
They got a section for real estate. Every section, they got a specific, right? A specific subject matter that they're talking about. That has to be relatable, right? To that particular property. I can't bring you into traffic court talking about real estate.
You said you can't bring them in the traffic court.
Talking about real estate.
Okay, I got you. Right.
So you have to appropriate it to the proper subject matter as it relates to property. And most people don't know how to do that.
This is true, man. So this brings me to, I think we started getting into a little bit about more sovereignty. And I think a lot of this got to do with being able to own and create our own industry.
We got
So
we have to be industrial, and this
right,
is what I've been telling the Moors we have to do. This is why
exactly.
I created the master class, right? To teach elements and fundamentals of litigation, understand the property rights, understand when and what arguments you can argue, learn how to kill jurisdiction. You don't even have to challenge it.
Huh.
It's things that you can do and make the court recognize it. First of all, states cannot even deal in treaties.
Right,
So it's a treaty issue. They automatically jurisdiction. You're in the wrong venue.
right.
So what need to be going in? Change venue.
Okay, now you're talking. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to write. It's like, what is the, you know, you know, you don't have to give all the steps, but I mean, like, just to kind of show people what the treaty, because it's like, I mean, it's so vague. It's like, well, what do we use it for? He's like, well, we don't use it for this. We don't use it for that. And then it's like, how do we use it? If we talking about we got a traffic ticket, we shouldn't even be in traffic court talking about the treaty because it's the wrong jurisdiction. So they really need to change the venue and the treaty being at the core of the issue. If
Exactly. And
right.
then you got to understand the core. A lot of us is doing diversity of jurisdiction. And we not reading the Constitution. This is a constitutional matter. This don't got nothing to do. The federal court, the Constitution became after, this federal U.S. court. You have the United States Supreme Court of America, then you have the U.S. Supreme Court. In the same building, the same judges, right?
Right.
But how do you change and appropriate the court? Proper caption, addressing the proper authorities associated to what? The proper court. And then the paperwork is going to make the determination what court you in. So a lot of people be in the wrong court, raising the wrong issues because they don't understand this stuff at all. So they be in the U.S. court instead of the U.S. Supreme Court of America, and they think it's the same court because it's the same people in the same building, and they doing. And I'm like, nah. These people know, right?
Right.
You talking to them, and when you're not. By understanding how to appropriate the law.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. Like it's like the whole sovereignty movement has made it, all these people think that they're litigators, man. Or that they understand the law because they know terms like common law and, stuff like that.
So this is what I break down to. Who common law?
Who's common law? British, European.
They say, when the Supreme Court swearing, they say, we're going to keep the common law of England. If you a Muslim and you using treaty, is that going to be your common law?
Wouldn't it?
No.
I mean, are you saying like I'm saying like using the treaty? It's not your common law. You say it's not your common law.
So the common law of England is not the common law of Islam, of those people.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're right.
Now, did Moors exist in England? Yes. Was Moors? Did they have rights in England? Yes. So it's very important to understand how to appropriate the common law. if you're gonna say you a Moor, because black people didn't exist over in England. So black people don't get rights that's recognized by the court.
Under common law.
Under common law. This is what the Dred Scott case was all about. Black man ain't got no damn rights that a white man has to respect.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they practice in the common law of England.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we still talking about cases and misappropriating it, and it all boils down to property. You get in the court, you know how to deal with it. You can quash this. They summons you, you quash it. Motion to quash summons. Quash it. Present the evidence. Understand how to move. I do this.
No doubt, man. No doubt. You know they're gonna be like, you talking about motions though. Motions. You can't use no motion as a sovereign.
You don't have to motion nothing. See, this is what you got to understand. This is why I say talk about due process of law. You can put it in your pleadings or in your notice. It don't have to be a motion. It can be in a notice.
Okay. See?
You keep trying to hit them with an affidavit. An affidavit is associated to the rules of evidence, but you're not following the rules of civil procedure. They don't understand it. So this is why Keng El Bey come through, bang, bang, bang.
Hey, man. Hey, crazy, man. Shoot, man, I ain't gonna keep you too long though. I know we're gonna be doing a lot more videos anyway, man. And I know you mentioned the master class. Do you want to give that information about the master class? How can they get in the master class?
So I'm presenting everybody to the master class. They can hit me up on Keng El Bey, right, at gmail.com. It's not with the I, it's with the E. Keng. You see my name up there. Keng El Bey at gmail.com. Hit me up. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up through the Moors University of Sovereign Tribes. We got a lot going on that I'm dropping jewels. I done figured out all of this stuff. Private banking, financing, everything that you need to think about. How to appropriate a trust, how to misappropriate a trust. Anything that you can think about in this legal realm, we can do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, New Kemit, we rocking all the way. This year, we're going to bring a whole other level to the game. We're about to show everybody why my little litigation skills. We've been doing this and was litigating over 10 years, brother. We ain't new to this. You see what I'm saying? Child support, show you how misappropriation of law, a presumption, y'all going there, I'm the authorized, I ain't authorized to do none of this. You ain't authorized either. So let's get to the contract. Stop going there arguing and let's look at the particulars of the contract. Let me see the contract.
Exactly.
Let's look at the contract. You have a right to confront your accusers and inspect evidence. Contracts are evidence. Let's look at the contract. Let's go through an audit. Let's see how well they take that. How hire you an auditor, and let's go through these records, and let's see if there's some defects in these contracts. You get those records. Then let's inspect these evidence and see how long this case gonna take as we comb through this red tape. What they doing is submitting affidavits. Damn your affidavit. Let's see the contract.
Hey, and y'all, he got a book on the child support too. So what's it called?
How to stop child support.
Yep, how to stop child support. So yeah, got the books, man. So you guys gotta check us out, man. We definitely coming with it. We're gonna be, like I say, we're gonna be doing more videos like this, man. We back on the our grind.
I'm just saying, man, taking it to another level.
Yes, sir. You know it.
Level. I'm just trying to get brothers to understand. I was in there shooting up the court. Me and Chief Bandele.
Yeah, man.
They called me Young Johnny for a reason.
Yeah, they call it, yeah, little Johnny, man. Little Johnny Cochran over here, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He really has been putting it in. You know, I mean, we've been in the course, but like I ain't gonna lie, King really been in there really hard in the course dealing with different subject matter. So I mean, he really got a good grasp on how the court worked and how to maneuver around it. So man, it's on. You know, we doing big things, man, but we really just want to set the record straight this year. Okay, this year we setting the record straight for all the Moors out here, right? How to move, okay? Because it's time for us to really move in a real direction, a meaningful direction, okay? Instead of, we've been out here for the past 10, 20 years, you know, trying to figure it out. Well, now it's figured out, okay? We here. Right.
I mean, all you got to do, contact indigenous services, and we're gonna bring you what you need to the table. Keng El Bey, we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Me and Chief have been doing it for a long time. We went through our bumps and bruises, but we really did it.
Yep. Yeah. We've been through a lot, man. We've been through a lot. You know what I mean? Just me and you both. You know, just trying to hang in there and everything, man. Like, it was rough.
Over a decade. Me and you, it was just us two for a decade.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? We started bringing other people in. And now we evolve, and now we putting this conglomerate together. And we understanding the game. I ain't playing them. And don't nobody get to question me. Let's see the paperwork. Now I ain't looking at them tax forms. We looking at everything. We gonna inspect everything, and I'm gonna bring the proper authorities in here, and we gonna comb through these goddamn contracts. Now this lawyer, I don't want him. And then this is another thing. If you get you a lawyer, you contract with him. You tell him what you supposed to draft up a contract. Hey, see, this is another thing about Moors and what we go wrong at. We're supposed to have an institution that hire a lawyer and he's under contract. And we specify what the hell he's supposed to do. Now there's lawyers that has particular skills. Every lawyer ain't for the same job. You're supposed to hire him to do this. He's gonna do the audit. He's gonna be the criminal defense attorney, and he's gonna handle this. Why? Because they specify in their stuff. Is it applicable? So now we got to determine what jurisdiction is going to apply when we dealing with this property right. Is it my property? Then if it's my property, my law gonna stand. If it's your property, then your law supersedes my law because it's your property. So now we got to determine who property is and who has the supreme authority over the property.
Gotcha.
And then we got to look at the paperwork. to see if it's all conscionable. Because if you say I can't practice law without a license, how the hell could I be conscionable to a
contract
that I don't even understand?
Right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, man.
Son?
Yeah.
So we got to look at this stuff. We ain't playing these games. They've been whooping us with the contract game for the longest. And then we try to apply treaty to every contract we've been in. What do the Social Security Administration got to do with the treaty? What the BMV got to do with the treaty? Show me where all of these different institutions apply to the treaty. Some of these institutions are private institutions that work with government. And you got to understand the IRS is a private entity.
Right.
That the United States adopted all of their codes. So what is we doing, family? We got to know what we're doing. There's too many people playing the game. They're going through this now. We ain't doing all of that. You get the proper people to enforce certain things because you understand what we're doing. So it's time to start building and stop yapping, because I hear too many more talking about government, too many more talking about this. No, we got to get an understanding of what we need to do that's practical. Practical right now. Those who know how to build it, let's build it and make something practical, and others will follow once they gonna see it working. We want to train them and take them through all of this now.
Right.
What we got to do is put something together, which we are doing, and we on another level. Ain't nobody, man, ain't too many people. Like I said, my record speak for itself. I could put several people on the line to tell you, oh, Keng El Bey won my case. He knew what to do.
Yes, sir.
How many people talk about putting in an audit? Nobody.
Not too many.
I never heard no more talk about an audit.
Right.
This is what we doing. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about, oh, let's look at the contract. Let's audit. And then let's pull it all together. And then the judge got to make an analysis. Because one of the things you have to understand in law, did you have the capacity to contract? To make it what? Binding. So one of the things that a lot of us sign contracts and we reading them and they're with reference to a statute, was a lawyer present? How you gonna sign a legal document and a lawyer wasn't present to interpret it and make sure you are doing the right thing?
Right.
Do your own attorney now? So it's just so many things that we got to learn. Get the basics, family. Got to get the basics.
Man, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. So, man, appreciate it, man. You know what it is. We're gonna get back on this. Like I said, man, we back on the grind. We about to do these videos, get these videos out, man. So y'all keep watching. If you need anything, please give us a call. We'll have the numbers up and contact information up, okay? So until then,